right. So the first question I have for you is, do you remember way back when you first found us?
I do. So way back when is when we were going through a whole transition for moving our website into WordPress. And this is back when I was at Savory. We had an issue where we had our own site that was on WordPress, and that was totally fine. But the biggest problem was we were starting to grow at such a rapid pace by acquiring all these different companies. There was almost no way. It got to a point where there were like three different websites I needed to migrate personally into WordPress. And my boss looked at me and she was just like, maybe you need a partner. And being that we were on WP Engine at the time, she just said, hey, why don't you look for a partner that's associated with them? It might make it easier for you, and then you pick from there. And so, there was like probably 5 or 10 names that popped up, and then I saw you guys, and I was just like, I kind of like that name, Smack Happy Design. And so it kind of started with the name, and then I saw you guys' work product and all the stuff that you guys have done, and to me, it just seemed like it was going to fit, and it did.
Yeah, that's really cool. You are not the first person to mention that the name stood out, and that was why you reached out. So that has served us well on several occasions, I think, which is pretty cool.
Good. It's such an odd name, but I love it.
Yeah. Um, so what was your main role then at Save-A-Tree?
At one point, I was the online marketing manager, and then I was the digital marketing manager. Sorry, that's what it was.
And what's your current role now at Almstead?
And Almstead, I'm head of growth.
Head of
So I
growth.
kind of do both digital and print, all of marketing, you could say.
Yeah, yeah, okay. That is awesome. Um, and when we delivered that first website when you were back at Save a Tree, do you remember what that felt like or what some of your first thoughts might have been?
Yeah, the first one was, wow, I didn't have to do it. That was the best part. And it was funny because I was going through a transition in my own career of going into leadership and managing versus being the person that always kind of is the one that's like going and doing it, where you see the problem and you fix the hole, everything, or they would say plug the hole, but you would see the problem, you would go ahead and fix it. I was always Mr. Fix It. And when it came to, especially when it came to websites and building them and having to like iterate so much at such a high level, I just remember saying, well, that saves me a lot of time, right? Because these things could take 3 to 4 weeks, given depending on how the websites are. And so getting such a beautiful website back, and it was exactly the same as what that company had. And that was another thing. Like whenever we would buy a company, they would be so tied into their brand, into like everything to do with their website. Like anything that changes, the font or something's out of place, they would point it out right away. And one thing that you guys did that was really good was you kept it exactly the same. And you couldn't really tell it was a WordPress site unless I told them. And once I told them, and then they wouldn't even notice the switch. Like we would switch to DNS and all that, they would have no clue. They would just notice that this site's kind of fast, right? And so that's probably the only thing. They're like, yeah, we switched to Symmetry, it's faster. But other than that, yeah, the sites were all great. And I would say the initial thing was one, I didn't have to do it, and then two, it just saved me so much time to do the other things that I was working on, which was really just driving growth for the business.
Yeah, and one of the reasons you wanted them in WordPress is that it was easier for you to maintain all of these different websites if they were all on the same platform in the same place, right?
Yeah, so that's part of it. The other side of it was redundancy. So, say like for now, I'm not at Savory. We need to have somebody else that can manage the site if it's not me. If I decide to go on vacation, if I get sick, and something needs to be updated, it shouldn't just be on me to update it. And so, one thing that I was doing was training my employees on how to use WordPress. And so I would just train them and I would show them, hey, this is how you do it. And then all I know is, me, I'm a developer. So if it's WordPress, Webflow, Wix, it doesn't really matter. I could use it, but that's not the same for everyone else. Right. And so we wanted to just make sure we design a product that everyone can use or they're familiar with, and WordPress was the one.
Yeah. Yeah, WordPress is very, very common. I think it makes up like 40% of the websites out there in the world. It's crazy.
I believe it. I think that's low. I think it's probably higher than
It
that.
might be
That's what it
higher than
feels
that.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite possibly.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess because we delivered, exactly what you were looking for. Is that part of why you kept asking us to keep doing it every time something popped up?
Yeah, 100%. It was like every time one of them came up and we needed to migrate a site that wasn't into WordPress, it was just like, okay, like if I don't have the time, just give it to them. It just got to a point where it was just like, for every acquisition that we got, if that website, which for the most part was outdated and not looking good, if we can get that into a WordPress flow, let's just go ahead and have Smack Happy do it. And we know because it was just like automatic at that point. It was like, all right, we give it to them, they'll have it done within 2 3 weeks. We pay this fee, it's done, and then we know, and we would actually put that in the timeline. We would tell the principals of the old business, like, hey, this is part of your plan of being enrolled into our company is we're going to change your website. It's going to be into WordPress, and then we're going to go ahead and do all of this. And we would actually have a timeline of all of this happening, and you guys always fit in the timeline. So it was actually perfect. We didn't
Oh,
even tell you that, but yeah,
no,
it,
that's
it
really
worked out
cool.
really well. Yeah.
How awesome is that? Oh my goodness. Uh, so with your new role now at Almstead, what made you decide to reach out to us again?
So the main thing was if you look at our website now, and I don't know, today is February 17th, 2026, I believe, right? If you look at our website right now, especially on Wayback Machine or any of these tools, you notice how outdated the website is. It's not really reflective of the brand, of the expertise, of all how amazing this team is over here. And what I wanted to do, especially since I've gone through it, with Save a Tree, private equity, you guys, is kind of bring the site up to date, up to par. And I knew that you guys were going to be that team that were going to help me do exactly what I've done at a high level with so many brands. Because we've probably converted over 30 to 40 brands over there when between my tenure in Sabertree of bringing the acquisitions over. And almost all of those sites, like if you look at some of the SEO on them, they're like number one, in their markets. And so in my head, I'm just like, this is just one site. It's obviously a big market for us, but if we can go ahead and take a lot of the learnings that we've had from those experiences, and then, of course, rebrand Almstead, and we go ahead and take all the things that we learned and make this website what it should be, I think we have a huge opportunity. And I mean, just looking at the site from my standpoint in the staging area, it is absolutely beautiful. Like, I just think like we did a really amazing job. Yeah, it might have taken a while, and that's probably some of the consensus is like, where's the site? Where's the site? Like, there's a lot of anticipation for it, as there should be. But
Mm.
I'm looking forward to kind of showing off the new branding because now we have, as a matter of fact, the branding that you guys did for the website. I'm gonna show you a card. You guys also did this for us. Is branding that we're using today. We actually have like lots of like cards that you guys have designed for us, and we're designing around it with prints. And so like this whole project is actually like kind of stretching its arms into different spots of our business and working. And so I'm looking very much far in advance because now people are asking me like, man, the website looks beautiful from the new one that you're about to show. The print is starting to look really good. Can you do the trucks? Right. That was one of the questions that popped up. And I'm just like, now I'm starting to see the excitement. That's what I really like. I like seeing that. And I like people having more ownership into the brand, especially in what we decided to do. So pretty cool. I kind of like this.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we absolutely love working with you. So would you say that like how should we put it? Are we like an extension of your marketing team? Like how do you think of us?
Yeah, I look at you guys as partners. Like I look at you guys, I would say here, being in the business, like I just feel like I'm part of the family here, and you guys are just like the extended cousins in a way. Like you guys know about the business. You guys have been around for so long, especially we've worked together in the tree industry. I think that when I look at you guys, I'm just like, look, you guys kind of know what I want, right? Because we've been family already, just in a different company, but you guys know what I want, and I don't have to necessarily have to baby you guys. Like I already know, like, hey, this is what I want. And then when you guys showed it to me, it was better. It was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and kind of use all the different like notes that we took from them, but we're gonna make it the Smack Happy way, and that's exactly what you guys did, and it looks amazing. So looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're very excited that you came to us with this and that you not only have the website, but some of the print work too. You know, we're all over the place and we love doing all of it. Um, do you know anyone else exactly like you? Because I would love to just clone you and have you as our client over and over again.
I wish I could say yes. I mean, I don't. I really don't. I mean, anyone that's like me is sitting in your seat. So, I'm just a weird one that's just like I like kind of doing it this way or doing it both ways, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Well, fantastic. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we wrap up?
No, I think that's all I got. I mean, we look forward to doing more branding with you guys, right? There's lots of different objects that we have that probably can be rebranded. Wait, as a matter of fact, I just did a career day. I stole y'all design. I got to show you since we're on. Totally took the whole border idea, right, and made, even signs for it. So hopefully this is getting picked up. But
Oh yeah, how cool.
like I said, you guys, your design has stretched so many different ways and it looks beautiful. And I get so many compliments from it. And it's funny, it's because it came from you guys. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. This has been really fantastic, and I look forward to launching the website and seeing how it helps you guys grow.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.